it up. Hey. Walked in, 30,000 in my pocket, had them niggas just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. $50,000 on your bill, wanna fuck me, gotta screaming like, ooh, 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 ooh. Cause I got a check, nigga wanna flip, I ain't got a flip, but I got it, ooh, 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 ooh. Get that hoe some mix, she gon' wanna set, every nigga in the section, now she screaming like, ooh, ooh, ooh. How much you made? Made $2 million off of me, and I'm rolling like, ooh.
We got co-host and
they tried to drop me with a case, but you know I had to skate it. I was singing like, ooh, I swear, boy, I know my
The idiot boy.
If you heard that I'm talking, then I say,
yeah! Doing this to the show.
I'm a bad boy, but I don't want to be close. Like, it's in the club.
We gonna do this thing, so let's just get right into it. We gonna introduce the topic, we gonna hit you with a break, then we gonna chop it up.
For sure.
Again, this is Chakelet 360 serving infotainment one scoop at a time every Friday night from 8 to 9. So yeah, if y'all was paying attention to the Facebook post, Instagram, all that, we gave you the group game, we gave you the all that. We put all the pages.
All
and the
that.
question
All
was,
take that in my daily voice.
A-L-L-A-A-T.
Our question was, really, what you say? Oh, you know how to spell.
A-L-L-A-A-T. All that.
So, even though you was on the bus, you do know how to spell them. That's what's up.
You know it.
So basically, our question for the week, our topic for the week is BOSSIN versus FLOSSIN. And we're going to set you up with the questions. And the questions were, what's a great example / display of a true leader / boss? What is the downside of being a boss? What are the pros and cons of showing off / flossing? Is there a gray area? Can you be both or one or the other? And are you a boss or do you rather floss here and there? So when we come back from the break, we're going to get some comments. We're going to get Absolute to chop that up. We're going to respond and we're going to get it in. So,
make me feel like a boss.
yeah, you ain't even a boss, but you know some comments.
Feel like a boss.
You ain't even got the 40,000 to start with that he's
I got $11 on my bank card.
Man, I got like 8. I'm going to hit that $5 machine. Get that good 5, still have $1 because they're going to take the 2. Sure.
My comments been messed up since 2000.
We're going to leave that alone. You don't got negative.
From flossing. Thought I was a boss, I was just flossing.
You were just flossing.
Just flossing.
Now you know the difference.
It's all for sure, it wasn't for sure.
Word. Well, that was a good segue so we can get into those comments there. Again, if you just joined us, our topic is BOSSIN versus FLOSSIN.
Yeah.
Which one are you? What it takes to be a great leader? What's the downsides of a leader? Is it any benefit in flossing? You know what I mean? Like, so any of those questions, we got some comments that we gathered throughout the day, and we're going to turn it over to Absolute One so she can throw those out and we can chop those up.
What you got?
Alright, what it is, people, what it is. Alright, so we got the first comment from Whiny Wayne on Facebook. He said, I shine through my crew. That's how it's supposed to be. There's a lot, what? Wait a minute. There's a lot out there for yourself, bossing. Oh, bosses don't do that. A boss is the one who makes sure the family eat.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Rick
Pretty much the check cutter.
True. Yeah. The money gatherer and disperser.
Yeah, like you got people call themselves a boss and you got all the money and then you got everybody just hanging with you because you look like a boss to a bunch of flossers.
Well, that make you a target. Because I made a post, you know, a topic there, and it was like, if you the only one that look like you shining.
I mean, that's from the streets to really to the job.
Yeah,
that's really like from the streets to the job, you know.
Yeah, because usually most bosses, from what I understand, they do, you know, the successful ones. Let's just say that, because I mean, I seen people that just didn't look like they was working with nothing, but they probably had that shoebox under the mattress money though.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say some will be for sure and some will be for sure, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, it could go either way. Like it's definitely like you can invest in yourself more with the money that you can be playing around with. You can be getting further into your bossism.
Right. And shout out to all the bosses that did floss first and then had to get
make it before you make it.
Get the real, you know, tree idea what it's about, you know what I'm saying, as far as being a boss. Because, you know, most people jump out there and say they're a boss the whole time they flossing.
Right.
But it's for, like I say, for show. Like, they got this, they got the $200 shoes on, you know what I'm saying? But the whole time they owe $2,000. Their credit not right, you know. If you ride in the 745 and you sleep on a futon, air mattress or a futon, you're not a boss.
That's the problem.
You're only a boss when you're in your car. That's it. You're not even a
Yo,
boss.
your address is not your tag number. Definitely can't get your mail to your car. At the
And
tag
no
number.
P.O. box in the glove
No,
box.
sir.
What else?
Alright, what other comments we get?
All right, we got L'Oreal Tony on Facebook. She said, I believe a boss leads by example.
Lori.
That's what's up, Gloria. You're right.
Someone who is able to run their own and still show others how to make moves. Also, I look at flossing in two different lights. Some people floss because they're proud of their accomplishments and or what they earn. Okay, should I go on?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like most bosses don't show. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you got most of the people with money and used to having money and really like bosses and successful, they really don't really got a point to prove because they put the work in, basically.
That's it. Cause
It show for itself.
You know what I'm saying? Like basically what I'm saying. Like,
or like, which I guess I'm to build on your point before you say that, it's like maybe it could be a farce or a decoy to play like they don't have as much as they have because that makes them less of a target where they can move better.
Yeah, that's a smart boss.
That's the smart boss, right? The incognito,
Yeah.
let me see what y'all doing, I'm gonna play like on my level headed.
A prime example of like a boss, like no disrespect for like races and all that, but a white boss is different than a black boss. I think a white boss goes in and he gets it and he becomes a boss. I think a black boss goes through the bumps and bruises of flossing, getting taken advantage of until he realizes what it takes to really put his people
I
around.
can totally agree with that. I probably in some cases can actually say that works in my, defense or whatever. Like, you get sometimes to be the better leader, because I think one of the questions was what makes a great leader, and I saw somebody say, you have to be beside your people. You have to walk beside them.
Right,
Don't try to be in front of them or dictate to them, and then you ain't doing nothing.
It's like that manager that do the same thing you do at the job.
Yeah.
He will do. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what about the show Undercover Boss?
Right. You see how? But
They don't have no idea what it takes
Not a clue.
because they got, pretty much transitioned into that chairman board CEO seat from his father being
that's
the
a
successor.
great experimental idea because it goes to also show you like who really cares about helping you by you being a boss. Who really cares about helping you keep it up? Like I say,
Right.
the people around you. You can be a boss and run a business with a bunch of people that don't care about
Yep.
making you no money. Then you got to get rid of certain people.
And you can be the CEO, but you can't run that business, especially like a food or
Right.
or hospitality industry type of business, without the housekeepers and the peons that you feel like they make the least amount of money, but they be the ones that keep it sanitary, so the health department won't shut you down. So you can't operate unless the health department, approve all of that.
Man, the word boss holds a lot. Like you got to be a good one. You gotta make sure your people straight because you can't be a boss by yourself. You can't be a boss treating your employees
Right.
as make them want to become bosses too.
And not only that, but you see that they also end up being very emotional once they get, the opportunity to put their hands on the issue. Like when they really see the lower level aspect of what the least earning employee has to go through. That's the human element. They just saw it as a bottom line. We got to reach this quota, whatever. I don't know what on from this point to this point. I just know I got to make sure my number's right on my spreadsheet, my invoices, so when I turn them in, my check can get cut right. Or I can cut my own check how I need to be cut.
Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, let's see if we got another comment before we go to break. We're going to try this one out.
We absolutely do. All right, this from Trayvon Allender. He says, I think more of us should be bosses, independent, entrepreneurial, or at least boss-minded. If this subject isn't in current curriculums, how can we reach or teach many? I have a couple ideas.
Right, and it's like, I saw an interview with 50 Cent, and he made a great point, because if you think about it, you'll be like, that did kind of make sense. He said, you got all of these courses for college, that's business administration and all of that, own your own, but try to show you all the curriculum to operate your business, but there's a professor there teaching you that. Meanwhile, why is you the professor teaching it when you ain't out here owning and operating your business? You the teacher telling us how it could be done, but you not even the example, but you the teacher.
Exactly.
So it's like, I never looked at it like that, because it's like, you you would pass on this information, but yet you can't, you know, you can't exemplify that same curriculum that
They're the bosses that didn't do what you did to become a boss. Like, you got people that become bosses because they got money and they buy a franchise or something just to get you to work in there. They didn't become a boss from building what they, you know what I'm saying?
They built it from the ground up.
Right, it's not like they was a cashier, they was a CEO, and then they moved up to a boss.
Right.
You got some people that's bosses and just like, I own this business, I got this money, y'all work for me, get to work, and that's it.
Right.
And most of the time, them type of businesses go straight to shop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Because everybody is feeling like, you know, if you're a boss, like I say, walk with your people. Be a boss, come back
Be
down
beside
sometimes.
them.
Right.
It's like roll your sleeves up, show 'em, because to me the best boss is the one who does know. Like haven't you seen like when a general manager, if you was young, you worked at McDonald's or something like that, so you got to make sure it's extra clean when the general managers and stuff come down or whatever. But you also see that it'll be some that'll kind of, you know, oversee everything and just watch and see if everybody following the code. And then you got the ones that are really unbutton that top button and roll them sleeves up and start flipping those joints. Like, and
like
he'll be
The white shirt be dirty by the man.
Right.
The manager's
He's
wearing white shirt.
like, you know, and he'll tell you, he'll give you my way up.
Right.
Those are the better examples of a boss because he can appreciate his position because he pretty much,
Exactly.
you know, he pretty much took the
Put
straight
in the
course.
work,
Yeah,
right.
he made all the stops first instead of just getting
They're the ones
dropped
that
off.
make the good bosses because they done went through the mistakes, they done did the wrongs. So if you're a boss and you're on hands with your people and you already went through the mistakes, you can save your company a lot of unnecessary problems by already breaking it down to your workers, letting them know what certain things may occur and how to deal with it. But if you're just a boss and you just own this company and you're just walking around
Right. And you ain't never
pushing fingers, pointing fingers and pushing and just pushing buttons like literally on the people, like I own you, and just firing people for certain stuff and not really communicating with your people. That's not really a boss. You just own the business. You're not really making nothing happen.
No doubt. And it's like, that's insulting to the people who actually have to go through the phases and then like, it's nothing worse than a dictator that's uninformed. You know, like, have you ever been in a position where you had a supervisor or a manager come in? You already know that their position is, you know, pretty much above yours. They probably make twice as much as you do. But somehow you got to show them what to do.
Yeah.
I've been in that
And I the last job I had, I worked for a scrap company, and you know they didn't know a lot about nothing. But just so happened that I was working for a scrap company before that the boss was really hands on.
Right.
So when I went to this new spot, they didn't really know about a lot of, like, they was throwing away a lot of gold, they was throwing away a lot of platinum and everything. So, but I'm sitting here thinking like these guys work almost $6-7 million a year, and they didn't know they was throwing away gold. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah, that comes from lack of experience.
Right, yeah, that comes from they just own money. They basically was investors.
Word. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been in many situations where, like, the manager will come, try to, like, slide, ask you something like you stupid. Like, really what you're saying is you don't know how to do it.
And you asking me on the...
Yeah, you asking me on, like, some incognito.
You don't want to...
But then the sentence after that is, oh, yeah, just go and run and do... girl, like, no, I don't respect you right now. You changed the whole level of respect with that first little sideways question you just asked me, homie. I don't play that. But
we got some bosses
homie don't
flossing
play
too,
that.
though. We got some bosses flossing.
So what's the benefits of flossing? Let's get into that before we go to another break.
You look good. You look good doing it. The benefits of flossing, you look good doing it. Only thing about flossing, when that time run out, when people run down and you start...
You got like an hourglass. You like
Yeah.
Cinderella
Yeah.
when the
Even
joint
as
turn
broke, you
back.
still got to lie to yourself. Like, you've been lying to yourself the whole flossing
You left the
time.
glass slipper, but the pumpkin, you ain't want the pumpkin joint to show up.
You got kissed and you didn't turn into that prince.
Right.
You still the frog, you know what I'm saying? You still the frog.
The only time I think flossing feels like is at the pinnacle of feeling good is when you pop them tags, man. That's it. They hit
Right.
the floor. That's the only.
Right. It's good shopping,
It's
right?
like popping the cork out, then the bubbles fizzle.
I've been in the flossing. I've been in the flossing
Who
stage
ain't never
before,
flossed before?
I done flossed so hard. I done put all them slick clothes on, and then went outside and had to literally get a ride to the club. Get somebody pay my way in the club, buy me a few
Keep
drinks,
it real, keep it
take me
real.
home. Then the next day I might be like, look, yo, I owe somebody $30. Oh, this money to buy these clothes, you know?
Boy, them jeans was $200 though. You
Right.
pay somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, people
At
have
home,
$2,000
we got
worth
some
of clothes
kids.
on and need a
People do
ride
it
to the
every
club.
day. They do it every day.
Yeah,
That was
you
the
know.
car payment right there, boy, them jeans, boy.
Flossing is like a temporary job. You never know where you'll be at with it. You might be out Essex with it. You might be working out Justice with it. Flossing, you just got to go with it. When you're a boss, you make your own moves, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like I said, like sometimes, you know, bosses take losses.
True.
And that's a big thing about being a boss.
Right.
How you bounce back from your losses when you know what I'm saying? Like if you think of all these big corporations that be losing, getting sued for $30 million and they still around.
Donald Trump
No.
filed bankruptcy
Master
several
P did
times.
too, and they rich.
Yeah, that's how they
You know what
make
I'm
their
saying?
money.
But
They
that's
somehow made it back to the Forbes list.
but that's exactly.
That's because they probably wasn't showing
they
everything they
they
had
just
from the
broke
job.
on paper.
Right.
Basically, they broke on paper and tell them they got other investments in and all that.
Word.
Because you know people got them little side investments they don't
I mean,
even mention.
if you got
And don't forget the shoebox money. I just
right,
did
that's
it.
what I'm
That
gonna say.
mattress money,
If
that
you have a
mattress
certain amount of money,
They slit the
What they-
man
what-
over
what's
and
the,
slid
uh,
that in there.
what's the bankruptcy thing? 7 years now.
Yeah.
So if you Master P and you Donald Trump, and you file bankruptcy, and you have 80 million, and you have a certain amount of million, those 7 years is not gonna make it a bump in the road. You're clear again in 7 years, and you already had money.
Right.
So
Right.
it's all it's.
Then they give you like a more, you know, like
Oh, then after bankruptcy, when you get it all clear, you come back, they treat you better.
right.
They treat you better
You
because
got
they want you to do it
clean
again.
slate. Yeah.
You went bankrupt again. Come on.
Right,
We got
because you're more susceptible
Right.
to possibly falling into that trap again, and then
Man,
it's just crazy. Like you, I just don't see the benefits of flossing. But like I said, I
Yeah.
can see that there were times where you would floss or you have flossed before.
everybody has.
And everybody, one way or the other.
Flossing is pretty much like living beyond your means.
Yeah,
To that
or
extent.
y'all just squeaking.
You know you
in.
flossing when you buy something, and you know you're in the wrong floss when you buy something and a close friend or a relative or somebody just blatantly roll up their tongue like, girl, what is you doing with that? You know, like you got a $1,500 Louis Vuitton pocketbook, and 2 days before that you was calling your aunt for $30. Your aunt gonna think, girl, where you get that Louis pocketbook from? That's not yours. It can't be yours. It gotta be fake. If you're on a bus stop with a Louis Vuitton bag, I hope it is fake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Floss that way. Floss that way. Don't floss with the tag still on the bag and you flagging down a hat and you got.
But
if you got
you know people can, you know, I know people do the Nordstrom's return policy, let me rock it tonight, the
yeah.
tag bumping on that joint
Floss.
on the inside, and then let me return that joint.
I know chicks that wear red bottoms and catch a yellow cab, so it's enough.
Word. Maybe she painted them joints. And she
Probably.
caught the cabs because they wasn't dry at the bottom yet. That probably
Shout
what
out-
that
Feet
was.
up. Put that
Shout
feet
out, shout
up.
out to all my flossing chicks that got burgundy bottoms on. They don't got red
Wow.
bottoms on it.
Yeah, they got
Fake it till you make it, baby.
sweet red wine colored bottom joints.
Yeah. Lime green
Man,
bottoms.
them sort of home editions, man. Them ain't Louboutin.
Moscato gold bottoms.
Yeah. Oh, they got the rose, the pink Moscato, the blue.
Got the rose bottom.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
if you're a boss, shout out to you. If you're a floss, you know how.
I know a lot of bosses.
Yeah, yeah.
Real humble bosses.
Yeah,
People I known for years, they maintain and they keep that business popping, they grow and they expanding. I know people personally
Right.
that I've dealt with and worked with projects and events where it's like a non-stop flow. The mindset is crazy. Like I've seen it.
The drive.
And on the contrary, you see the chicks that are, you know,
The
the
flossing.
finaglers.
You know.
I'm gonna call the flossers the
I know
finagling
the
section.
flossers. I
I'm
know
a
the flossers.
finagler at times.
The floss, you know the $200 True Religion jeans, the Robin jeans. You can't smell them. You don't know. You wearing Giuseppe's, calling them Giuseppos.
Versace.
Ferragamo, you calling it LaRondas. If you're wearing it like you flossing, bro, like stick to Levi's. You know, stick with Adidas stuff you can.
Yeah.
If you got $1,500 shoes on and you walking from Emerson Village to West Side Shopping Center,
That's
you
a
definitely. you
That
definitely-
pinky toe print gonna definitely be present. It's gonna arrive shortly. Well,
That shit gonna be bumping.
Shout out to all the flossers that wear new sentence and old dirty clothes still.
Wow.
Just wanna.
and look, tennis gleaming. Like, please don't let it rain where this car
White
switch
tee,
past and
white
just
tee
went-
collar, drunk as I don't know
Yeah,
what.
yo, get another one from the corner store, boy.
You
You
got on the
know.
dirt on your jeans.
Don't
You got on the new. You got on the new Giuseppe's. Giuseppe Adidas.
Giuseppe Diaz. No, they had the fake Pradas or whatever. They was patent leather and all that.
They was Pralines. They was Prada Fila.
Prada lies.
They were Pralines.
For Pradas.
Paralyzed.
For Lada Pradas. Well, we be back after this break though. Stay tuned.
Chocolate
If
360,
you got
y'all.
any comments, drop them while we got a chance. If you see the number, you can call us at 1-888-400-5574. If you got a comment, try to spit it live on air when we come back from break. Yeah. We recording live on
Chocolate
multiple
360.
devices. That is true. You go on your
89,
app
funky
game.
nine.
You can go to the computer. I'm going to have some footage from my phone. You got the little camera leaning on the one part because the other two legs don't work.
But we making it work, though.
Yeah, it's definitely leaning deep. He doing what it do.
And if you still got a Flip Boost mobile or Virgin
No,
mobile,
that.
the app will not happen, but we have vouchers for you.
Oh, you got an app voucher.
App vouchers for the
A
Chocolate 360.
cell phone upgrade
Yes.
voucher for your app game
Yes.
to grow up. Oh,
Yes.
all right. You ain't no boss if you got flip phone.
Nah, definitely ain't boss.
You need a voucher to get your flip phone game stepped up. You definitely ain't no boss. You ain't even flossing.
And if you put
Definitely ain't flossing.
and if you got an iPhone, put the number in the iPhone.
Don't have a 3,
call-
cause I still seen somebody with a 3.
I seen people with iPhone 6 that was cut off, still talking on the Virgin Mobile Flip, but they was putting the number.
No, I see somebody with the iPhone with the Magic Jack app on it. Really? How you Magic Jack app? You flossing, you got the 6, it's thin. You feel me? The case was 80. You did.
Steve Jobs is turning over in his grave right
You
now.
like, man,
Trying
you
to
gonna put
Appalachia.
the Magic Jack on it?
Really, man?
Then you gotta stay in the house where the Wi-Fi signal at, boy. You by the window, boy. Whole time. You can't be like, wait a minute. Did you answer my question though? Cause I need the answers before I leave out.
Looking dumb like a Bentley with a donut.
Like that bitch like flop, flop,
Yeah, you
flop.
ever see a Bentley ride with a donut? That's definitely flossing. You got a Bentley and you got a flat and you still got the donut on there.
No, I don't think you can afford that gas for no Bentley. Cause I know they probably want like 10 gallons. You know what I mean? Like
100,000 a gallon. You gotta get Bentley gas. They sell their own gas.
no, you get the diesel fuel. You need diesel fuel. All right, so we just over here just going in on somebody with a Bentley with a donut, the iPhone with the Magic Jack app.
Shout out to the flossers, man.
Everything wrong.
Shout out to the flossers. Y'all like, you know how people say we need haters? You need flossers, you know? Cause like I've been in all, man. I caught halves, been in Mercedes, been in all that, caught the bus, but it just, to each his own, don't get me wrong, but you're definitely flossing when you get on the bus with $80 million worth of designer clothes on.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know.
That's doing too much.
Why y'all ain't owning these corner stores around here if your wardrobe can kill them? You feel me?
Right.
Like you killing them with the wardrobe. Your wardrobe extra serious in your mother basement, like you know in the little corner that don't get wet.
Right.
Or you feel me?
I
Like
got the shoe game
If
killing
you
them in the
if
corner.
you continue to selling drugs as being a boss, you definitely might as well just shoot yourself in the game right now.
right. Like
I mean, I do what you gotta do, but that's not boss. That's not.
I'm saying, like
Running corners is not boss. Let's just be honest. Running corners is not boss. I mean, especially if you're 35,
40.
40. If you're 40,
You 40 on the
if
block.
you've been hustling
40
since you
on
was
the block.
19 years old and you're 38 right
19,
now.
12.
And ain't got nothing to show for
You
it.
was hustling since you was 12 when you got 30.
I truly agree the hood owes you 401k, but it's not coming.
Oh no.
Because you definitely put in your work.
That's up there with those reparations.
You know what I'm
You ain't ever going to
You know
see
what I'm
that.
Because that was the case. If the corner made me a boss, I'd probably be sitting back collecting retirement by now.
But I'm saying, have you seen some old school gangster hood runners from the 70s/80s like really retire the game? I mean, some of them.
Jail did. Jail made
Oh,
him
jail
retire.
preserved.
Yeah, jail made him
Hold
retire.
up, I was not prepared for the jail.
Yeah, jail. I know a lot of people that was bosses,
Yeah.
but
That boss.
the situation at hand was not switched over to the right thing, as far as a real
But that's
boss.
what I'm saying. Like, hasn't there been guys who ran the corners, did all of the little,
Right.
dirt, then they in the process finagled it where as though they could flip it into like a pub
And
or a
like I say,
laundromat.
at the end, when they about to do that, because usually when you're at that level, it usually goes to a different level of legal and for us
right.
checking out for you.
Now
Right.
you gotta have too many
Right.
co-signers.
So sometimes it never works because the indictments come in and you already far gone. Like you might go, yeah, it might work today. We got $1 million. We're gonna take it and invest it. But if you got an indictment from November, what me and you buy doesn't matter. We're still in the same predicament. Yes, we had this. We had that. We're no longer bosses. Like if you ask me, have I ever seen anybody go through the streets and really make it and go about their life? No.
Never.
I seen them get close.
Almost there.
I know a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas.
It's either the jail or the grave. It's one or the other. They get took out.
Flossing always leads to misconsumption. Like it's
yeah,
always
to hate some kind of
yeah,
way. It could end up being deadly, but it could be more
it's
like
like a false promotion.
word.
You feel what I'm saying?
It's like
Elaborate.
you floss so hard that people starting to really think you got something.
And then when something happens to you, or when
That's the harsh truth. Like, man, that mama
not even so much on the bad side. You might floss so hard, whereas though I might think you're a real business person. I might think you're a real boss.
Right.
And I might have a plan that can help us take it to the next level. I come to talk to you, let's put this man in, let's put this man in, and come to find out you don't have it.
You exposed.
Right.
Right.
And then it becomes to a point where though now I'm a real boss, and I'm watching you still entertain what's not really happening.
Word.
You know, so when
That's one
somebody
way.
might speak on you that's believing in your floss and come to me as a boss, like that's a good person to say, oh yeah, he's a great person, but I'm not gonna do no business with this guy because
Right.
of how we connected. You know what I'm saying?
So character plays. So like in keeping with the one of our previous topics that we had a couple of weeks ago, the confident and cockiness.
Right.
That can somehow kind of coincide with the bossing versus flossing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe the confident person generally makes, in most cases, the better boss or the better leader.
Right, exactly.
And then there's a such thing as quiet confidence, or like that unspoken confidence, where you have like the cocky person that is probably flossing, that probably does have influence and probably can make the moves, but through his cockiness, he probably makes some missteps, and like you said, in some cases, kind of mess up on a possibility of making a good merge or collaboration with somebody who's really serious and could,
Right.
kind of like
It
take
can-
you to the
it-
next level.
It can also come back to bite you in the butt. Like even with relationships, with friends, because like I say, like flossing ain't just showing off, like bragging, like expensive clothes and all that. You can floss on just who you really are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you can go out to people like you can be a depressed person, sad, down right now, but by you being so happy all the
Right.
time, you can't kick it out to the people like, yo, today I'm having a bad day. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You might be flossing like everything is good. Come to find out, you going back in the house, you fake it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all
Yeah.
it's different kind of ways to floss. You got people that floss like they are the manager at the job. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
then you get there and
You got
try to
people
fill
that
out the
floss
application.
that work at a car wash and be like, yeah, that's me and my brother. Whoop, whole time. I just hired Shorty last night.
He be vacuuming the
I don't-
inside,
yeah.
boy.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't own nothing around here.
Because you could floss. Okay, for example, like I say, everything don't have to be flossing like for bragging about what you got. Whatever. You can
Right.
floss on to your character. So I can floss to a girl. Yeah, Shorty.
Niggas know me.
All that up Park Heights, that's me. All that
Yeah,
down Greenmount,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
me. Whole time she might know somebody from Greenmount, ask about you, then the people expose you.
Word.
Oh, that's just somebody that don't like me. They just hating on me. And like this and that. But in
Right.
reality, you got to keep it going again now. Instead of telling the girl like, oh, that was lying.
It takes too much energy. Like,
Exactly.
I can't do that.
But a boss don't really have, that's why I say like,
That's why they said the G in lasagna is silent.
Right. like the look. If you go by looks, see people go by what they see, as far as both bossing and flossing.
It's more of a combined notion. Like you can see stuff, but you gotta kind of hear what's not being said to kind of measure.
And then we quick to
Plus, it's all in the observation. You gotta watch people and see how they really
Over a
carry
course
it.
of time, you
Yeah.
can't just go off of that first time
Exactly.
they say, that first
Right.
conversation they have, that first time they
Right,
mention it.
right.
You gotta kind of see the continuity in their actions and kind of see how they,
Right.
day to day.
Because you ever been somewhere, let's say all three of us go somewhere, right? We go somewhere tonight, and a guy pull up with a Maserati.
Right.
Me and our mind like, yo, bossing.
Right. Whole
Next
time-
week, we see him in a Corolla,
Oh no, that's just my little work car.
so now we found out he was what? Flossing.
Right.
The whole time he rented it $4,000 for that night just to make himself look good.
Lord, have mercy.
You
That's
know,
what that's
he
too
owed
much
child support.
energy.
You know what I'm saying? Like once you
He probably
find
ain't even got a license if he
right,
got child
right,
support.
right, exactly. So
Man.
that's why I said like
Just
it's,
saying.
flossing can come like women floss. You know, women
I was
floss.
ready to say
I'm
you
not
can't
this,
leave
I'm
them.
not that.
Yeah.
You know, and some women as bosses.
True, that's true.
Like as far as what I've been seeing lately, the women been kicking butt on the boss too.
Because they're more educated than the men. Like they go back to
And I
school.
agree. I agree.
African American women choice. Like, you know, now you see women carrying the complete household.
Right.
You know, even if a man is there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they've been doing it for a while too.
And it's like everything in her name, he get to ride the car, but it's in her name, he get jammed up, he got to call her on the scene, and she in the bed sleep.
So basically what you saying, half of these women making the guys be bosses or making guys look like they floss.
I'm saying that
So
some
the
guys
women
are
beating the guys.
testing.
So the women beating the guys in Boston.
And so
I agree.
You just
I
said
agree.
it. You-
I
you
agree.
want-
I said I agree.
You have
I'm
just
asking,
had
do you
said
agree?
earlier, sir, I
Do
had
you-
was
do
just
you agree,
rocking
though?
off what
Do
you
you
had
agree, though?
said.
I do know more
I had
female
was just
bosses
rocking
than
off.
male
See,
bosses.
women don't have to floss that hard because that's a different story than guys and all that, you know. But women flossing is corny too.
Yeah, like give us an example of a corny flossing chick.
She live with her mother.
True.
She live with her mother. She don't have a kid. Like, wow, how you live with your mother? You don't have your kids. So who got your kids? You know. But
Meanwhile-
if you go down, if you go down that timeline, you know what she's saying. Boss maid, whoop de whoop. She got this, and this, and that.
Big states and all that.
2 days later go past. She didn't beef with her homegirl. What you see on the picture? Girl, give me back my bag. You chucking all this.
Oh.
You flossing with this. You want to show off this now? You want to, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
You cannot fake neither one of those. You can't fake a boss. You can't fake a floss. Because everything in the dark will come
It's
to the
gonna
light.
come out, true. That's what
You know,
it's
like-
gonna come out eventually.
Like, I'm quite sure y'all young ladies that ran across a couple dudes that came straight in like, hey, I own this, I own that.
Oh no, they didn't even say that. He just threw his arm over the car door. You see the watch. And I don't like it. Like I don't
You
like
see
it.
the watch.
Yeah, like
So
that
it's
was like
right.
a non-verbal gesture. Like
So you saw
yeah.
the watch. So basically by you seeing the watch,
That's currency.
right? Like if a lady came to me and was like, you see the watch.
I wish I had a red light
I
like
was like,
that
well,
with the kid.
what came behind
Gilly
this
the
watch?
kid had the red light. He beamed it on the little chick, like, no, baby, that ain't real. Let me show you what happened when they real.
Right.
You feel me? So you might need that red light for you.
But if you got this watch on, right? Let's say if the watch was $30,000 and it was real.
The presidential Rolex.
Whatever, presidential Rolex, senator
Day and
Rolex,
date.
governor Rolex, whatever. Whatever.
The
Let's say if this watch was real, right?
Right.
If you got a $30 watch, what's you understand what I'm saying?
You supposed to put a hefty down payment on some property and prior whip.
Before I told you, look
Before
at this
you
watch.
bought the watch.
Before I say,
You can't have
Shorty,
car
check out
payments,
the
but the
watch.
watch 30,000.
like the watch wouldn't get you. Like I would say something like, wait, oh, she digging the watch. Wait till she see my house.
Right.
Wait till she.
The watch
really gets you.
is the pinnacle
Yeah, you know what I'm
of
saying?
the possessions.
You know, it's like
Be like, what
Club night.
time is it? Be like,
Club
I
night,
don't know.
you
We
really
pulling
can't
out the
judge
phone.
people off club
Look,
night.
No,
you ask him
definitely
what
cannot.
time is it. He got the watch with the diamonds and all that. You ask him what time is it. He pull out his phone and look at the phone. No one just
Right.
tell me what
Because
it's
it's 10:30 at night,
a
but
timepiece,
but the
man.
Rolex still says 210.
Well, the battery don't work. I mean,
It's not even a
the-
battery in Rolex.
Right,
You know,
that's
that's
right. It's like the sundial.
But
Like
when
they
you're
work with
flossing,
when
you're flossing,
your
it's all about the
Rolex
shine.
TikTok.
Yeah.
It's all about the shine. It's all about the shine. I can go up Security Mall right now and get something out the middle of the mall for $200. As long as it's gleaming when the.
The light hit it.
And guess what I'm gonna walk around
Then
and
you put it
say?
in a purple jewelry cleaning.
Guess
and
what I'm
shit.
gonna walk around and say? Oh, this is the chain Jeezy wear. This the chain such and such, you know.
Man, I'm about to give me a red light, man.
Check
Like I ain't letting nobody get
Like,
me
oh, that's
that.
your watch?
No,
Let
you
me
know.
check.
Man, I'm about to
Put
floss out,
that
man.
red light on my keychain, man. Like, hold up, let me see something real quick.
I'm about to floss out tonight, you know, big bottles popping wherever I go. You
You
know.
gonna have a big bottle
Hella
of
miniatures. Hella
Rose
miniatures.
Moscato.
Hella miniatures.
Yo, had a son of hoes. That was $11 for it. Yo, he come in the club with a box
going cheaper
wide.
than that. I'm
Yo,
going-
coming in the club with a box. He like popping boxes open, boy.
I already sell Thunderbird and Moscato bottles now.
No, he
I'm
don't.
full pack of Thunderbird.
No, they don't.
I'm gonna floss like that.
Look.
I'm gonna floss like that.
Damn. So anyway, we running out of time. Let's just hit this one little break. We gonna come back and close the show down. So just stay tuned. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like possibly bring up, talk about next week, sum it all up, whatever. Just stay tuned.
Chocolate 360, baby.
Yeah.
WPD
I had 6
radio.
jobs. I'd be tired of in the mug. You heard?
True.
Ain't nowhere in the world. I'm in somewhere working 6 of them. You
You
gotta
ain't
have 2 of them overlapping at the same continuous, unstoppable, non-stop game. I
Your
can't.
name gotta be Juan Santiago.
And you gotta be
Work
like,
6 jobs.
oh no, while my feet in the water, I'm gonna go ahead and type this. Whereas though I'm gonna get back to my feet and then I'm gonna print that on.
Oh, word.
Then I got 4 more jobs. But so basically the summary of this whole show was the difference between being a boss and just straight up flossing. I did get a comment from one of my childhood friends. Her name is Talisha, and she said that you know, although she has a lot of responsibilities and things, she would just floss. She like to floss here and there. She don't gotta be a boss. So there you go. We got somebody who can kind of say, yeah, let me handle mine, and then when I got something extra, I can floss it out.
Right, that's
Now I agree with that.
right.
Like make sure them
Treat
bills
yourself.
paid. Yeah, no doubt. Like and more than likely, if you do work, the goal, even though it's not always possible, but the goal would definitely be to each check. If you know waiting on each check to get your bread up, try to get you something nice. Take yourself to the movies. Go get a pair of, you know, flip flops, something that you wanted to sign. I don't know, like
Treat yourself to a
yeah,
nice
get
dinner,
a
man.
manicure or something like that.
Treat yourself, don't cheat yourself.
Right.
Yeah, because
As
it's
long as you
like
can afford yourself.
yeah, like no doubt. I'm gonna make a way. I'm sorry, I ain't somebody. I ain't gonna lie. Like if the bills too all they get ready to consume my whole joint, I'm be like, look, I'm gonna give him that much though, cause I'm gonna need that for that though, cause I'm not getting ready to be 100% broke after I have waited 2 weeks, no sir. So I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that flossing. That's probably like going lunch money, going, you know, you probably like, man, I need 40. I ain't.
You got paid today and you fresh right now and you broke, floss.
But if you got paid today and you fresh, but you gave old girl the 200 she was asking for, you alright.
No, we ain't doing that.
You
No, we
alright.
ain't doing this right now.
I'm just saying,
We
what's
ain't
the
doing it, no.
obligation and you pulled it off and you got
Yeah.
something new.
Shout out to you, bro.
Listen to me. Oh,
Gave it 20 though.
yeah.
200.
One.
Oh, you
dropped
so
the
you
O.
$1.80 that oh.
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
dropped the
so
O
you
on it.
basically you ducking her out because you slid the 20 through the mailbox and kept
Okay.
it moving.
Right, because I played the boss and really
So
was
you-
flossing, so I didn't
So you
have
did it in all one so it could look like, oh, that
You
was
know how good that really looked though? Give a 50 ones with a 50 on the top. Flossing at its best, really.
Yeah, that is a
I
thing.
thought I was a big boss. I thought
Don't
I
let
was-
us see you after that though, because you're going to have problems.
Oh yeah, it's already
You're
been.
going to have problems.
No, please don't.
I'm blocked out of everything.
So you gave her $100.
No.
It was 99. Cause the $50
I gave her
made
the
50
20.
big.
She went and got her other
Oh.
180.
You know what?
But you did it in ones and slid it through the mailbox shoot.
Right.
Oh, what?
How else was
Oh,
You know what was it?
If I had handed the 20 here up, straight up, did you know how long that conversation would have been at there? Like, well, you told me all this, you was gonna do all that. I was flossing.
So you called her, she was in the shower, you knew
She
it.
said
that
you
was
had
the
$200.
option.
I said yes. I gave her some ones and put a 50 on top. Of course, I didn't talk to her, give it to her. I slid the thing. When she called me back, she said, "I thought you were gonna give me a certain amount of money." I was gonna give her a certain amount of money until I found out I didn't have that certain amount of money to give.
Because it directly affected my flossilization.
Oh, word.
I boss talked to her, but I flossed. the
Walked
walk.
on her.
I bossed the talk, but I flossed the walk.
Word.
That's
All
all
right.
in the book.
That definitely is. Can somebody write that down? Yeah, that's it for our show this week. Again, we was bossing or flossing. Which one of you? I done them all. Done them all. Haven't we all? So stay tuned next week for our topic. Again, like I said on the pages, our YouTube channel should be up soon. So hopefully
Yeah.
we could,
Check
you know,
for
put
that.
this up. If you aren't listening to us live, then we can give you a second opportunity to catch all of our shows on the YouTube channel, and probably in the future we can go ahead and Ustream live. But right now we working on some things because I think we was, you know, right.
It's all good,
We was boss game. Gotta get our boss muscles up. 'Cause
It
we
even
was
took
floss
God
walk.
7
We
days
still
to
floss
make the
walk.
world, you know?
Still floss walk?
Yeah. But
Talk like a boss, walk like a floss.
yeah, we gonna
Yeah, I'm
we
be
gonna
bossing all.
hashtag that.
I'm be bossing all night tonight, but I'm
If you
trying to
heard
call
the
him
show,
Bobby Floss.
hashtag that. You remember remember what Joe said, hashtag it.
It's gonna be turning back to a pumpkin hill.
I'm a boss talker, but a floss walker. You ain't sure.
I'm a
Hashtag boss talk.
Right.
Hashtag
I tell her I got it till she need it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I play boss till she need it.
As long as I owe you, never be broke. I hate that saying. Like, oh man, I'm
Long as
I
I-
need to come up off that.
Long as I floss to you, I'll look like a boss.
All right, well look, that's our show for the night. I'm your host Denise. We got
Absolute one.
And you got your boy Jason Shortbus Lee, WP Radio,
yeah,
Baby
that's
Chocolate
the Chocolate
360.
That's the Chocolate 360 cohesive group. We a full team. It's official. We moving forward this way. We added our fella. We all chocolate, so you see us on the streets, you can get a lick or take a bite, and I'm a floss walk on you.
Chocolate 360 every Friday,
All right.
8 to 9, WP Radio. Tell a friend to check in again.
Word.
Join WPB Networks Saturday, July 25th, 6:30 p.m. for a live performance by